What is going on, everybody? Let's talk Adeptus Mechanicus, combos, great units, strategies, all that good stuff with the AdMech. If you like AdMech content, please hit subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Hit me up in the comments what unit you want to talk about next. We're going to jump into the Onager Dunecrawler. These guys got a nice buff in 9th edition. One, just starting out, this thing's coming in at 115 points and 5 more points if you want an extra heavy stubber. So 120 max, which is a great deal for the firepower of this vehicle. This guy has toughness 7, 11 wounds. So 13 obviously would be a nice way to avoid some of that D3 plus 3 damage type weapons. But 11 wounds, toughness 7, 5 up invuln. So somewhat survivable for a unit and our vehicle unit. Although in 9th edition vehicles are not as survivable, it feels like. Right off the bat, you have a big buff to the anti-aircraft build. The Icarus Array is what it used to be called. The buff in 8th edition, you had to shoot all the different weapons at a single target because it was one gun. But now they've specified that they're different guns and you can split fire. Also, you no longer get a -1 to hit non-flying units with this. And you only get the +1 to hit against aircraft, not just the fly keyword. But anyway, you get a strength 7 d6 damage missile. You get 5 strength 6 rockets. And you get 4 strength 7 2 damage autocannon shots with this loadout, plus the heavy stubber. Pretty sweet. And then, of course, the Neutron Laser, 48-inch, heavy D3, strength 12, AP 4, D3 plus 3 damage, blast. So if somebody has, I guess, a 6-man vehicle unit, that blast will come into play. Or if you have to shoot it at something where you need all this damage on it, I guess you're killing probably a Nurgle Terminator a shot with this thing. But I don't know if it's ideal for that. Great vehicle for the price. Smoke launchers, there's a stratagem, 1 CP, -1 to hit. Couple other things. The 5 up invuln, you no longer get the reroll 1s when you're next to a buddy. But you keep the 5 up invuln at all times, which is great. It's not like you lose it in hand to hand, which I believe you did previously. And it's got the Doctrina Imperatives, which means for one turn, you could be ballistic skill 2+. So you're basically hitting with everything, which is fantastic. Now, let's jump into Forge Worlds real quick. This has the Skitarii keyword. So right off the bat, Mars is a nice one. Mars, all Skitarii get the Canticles of the Messiah. One of those happens to be reroll a hit, a wound, and a damage roll. Super good for like a Neutron Laser or that Daedalus missile with the D6 damage. Wonderful. And each time a unit with this dogma gets to reroll one of their hits. So with the Canticles, you could be hitting on a 2-up one turn. With the Doctrines, you could get Ballistic Skill 2+. You could reroll one of your hit rolls. If you're shooting the Neutron Laser, you only got D3 shots anyway. Great choice. You could go Agrippina. Models that make an attack within half range get +1 armor pen. A lot of these are 48-inch range, some 36. But 18 to 24 for that +1 armor pen. Not a bad choice. A lot of people are going to be, in the middle of the board to target. Not ideal, but you can get some value out of that. Lucius, of course, going to buff your defense. Styges, you can get -1 to hit if you're 18 away, or at least the dense cover benefit. And then there's another one you could look at if you're doing a vehicle-heavy build, which would be the Data Horde Forge World. This will give you a 6+ feel no pain, so you ignore wounds on a 6-up. So you got a 3-up save, a 5-up invuln, and a 6-up shrug. You also could heal 1 lost wound at the start of every one of your command phases, and you count as double wounds remaining for your profile. So even if you have 5 wounds left, you still count as having 10, which means it keeps you at that top profile for a long time. So you may want to build out a little detachment of your vehicles in this if you want to make them super survivable. Now, this guy's going to be your best friend. He's dirt cheap. Let's double check. I think he's like 45 points. Tech Priest Engine Seer is his name. And he's coming in at 55 points. Okay. He's still worth it. 55 points. Little tiny Tech Priest. He has heal a friendly forge roll, D3 lost wounds a turn, so he can heal up your vehicles if they survive a shooting phase, which is great. All the Tech Priests are basically healing vehicles or models. But in your command phase with Awaken the Machine, you can pick a vehicle within 3 and add 1 to the hit rolls for that vehicle. So even without the Doctrine, you could be hitting on a 2, which is great. And let's say you get wounded down to Ballistic Skill 4. During that turn, if you have the Doctrine, you could get +1 Ballistic Skill back up to a 3. He could bring you back to a 2. A lot of ways you could be always hitting on a 2 here. Pretty nice. I'm pretty sure there's a stratagem 2 to count as the top profile for a vehicle. And then just a funsy little thing, why you're going to maybe want to bring the Deuce, is for 1 CP, you can, let me find the name, you can be a Tech Adept, which lets you use the Awaken the Machine 1 additional time. So you got a Dunecrawler, a Tech Priest, a Dunecrawler, both of them hitting on 2s. With any of these loadouts, pretty nice. They tried to increase the other weapons that nobody took, and they're pretty interesting as well. The Phosphor Heavy Blasters, now a heavy 8, strength 6, AP2, 2 damage, ignore dense cover, pretty cool. And the Eradication Beamer is kind of, I don't know, heavy D6, strength 8, AP3, 2 damage, blast, and then at 18-inch range it's AP4, 3 damage blast. But anyway, I think any way you go now, you're going to get a pretty good value of your vehicle. And if you want to beef them up, take 2. Take one of these guys and Tech Adept, Awaken both of them, hitting on 2s. Nice little combo. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. I don't see the world where this guy comes in at 115 points and these guys are coming in at 100. Like, the Castellan robots, they took so many nerfs in this book. Like, all they needed to do was not let them double shoot, but they kind of piled on the nerfs, and we'll get into that eventually with this unit. But it's just a weird unit. It's in a weird place. It's like some super expensive melee unit. But, yeah. So, there you go. Onager Dunecrawler. If you got one, a lot of us got a couple from Start Collecting style boxes. So, definitely check them out in 9th edition. I think you're going to like them. Thank you guys so much. Please hit the like and subscribe button. If you like Adeptus Mechanicus videos, we'll also be doing AOS 3 content when that comes out. I do painting streams and stuff, but haven't been doing those too much lately. Do painting videos, all that good stuff. Just hit subscribe. It's a good time. It's free, and I think you'll enjoy it. Let me know what combos you like, what units you want to talk about, and I'll see you in the next one.